watching SeptumSin versus the World. I am SeptumSin, and I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
If we're speaking fast, that's because it's late, and we want to get this pickup video done.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to tell you what I watched this week. I'm hiding it from you.
The author I was trying to think of was Ichigo Takano, but I still can't find the name of that other series.
Speaking of, here's what Kotobuki Jake watched this week. So greetings. We are on our way back from our out and about. Take a look at our other video. But because we are strapped for time and we want to make sure that everybody gets what they have watched, we're going to be kind of posting this in the middle of our pickups video. And I'm going to hand this over to Kotobuki Jake, who is going to tell you what he's been catching up on over the last week. All right. And me, I'm going to get driving.
Bear with me for just a moment as I finish gustating. That was some good stuff I picked up Fresh Market.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Anyway, as Septum said, it's probably going to be a little pushed for time once we actually get to the pickups part. But it's been a pretty busy week, and I thought it would be worthwhile talking about the viewings. Those of you who follow our channel and follow our links maybe have already checked out the discussion with Movies Galore. This past week we did a wrestling documentary called Beyond the Mat. I watched it that morning and it was pretty good. I have more to say, shameless plug for Movies Galore. You'll definitely get more of our opinion on that one from watching that. And I'm trying to figure out how to position this so that it doesn't look really weird.
Well, that's going to be a hard thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So if it looks like I'm looking at something else, I apologize.
He's looking at the road. He's waiting for me to hit somebody.
Yes, on the way here, we had an adventure. I should never take my eyes off the road when he is driving. But anyway, the big thing, which we both saw, his wife and our other friend decided they wanted to see horror and screw The Incredibles, but we were like, no, we're going to see Incredibles 2. And it was awesome.
Sounds like I made the right choice.
It was awesome. It was, I'm not sure it was as good as the original, but that's kind of hard to do. But you could definitely tell that they've upped their game visually. But on the other hand, it wasn't like it was radically different as night and day. It's like with Toy Story, you can see the evolution from one film to the next. But on the other hand, it's not like, we're going to show off. They're kind of... I think they probably intentionally didn't go as hyper awesome as they could have, just so the movies would fit together better. But I could be wrong about that. But I thought it looked awesome without really looking like 14 years difference, which is what it is, 14 years later. It's a really good movie. Lot of fun. The Incredibles series is a lot of fun. And it was a long time coming. Brad Bird has said that he was waiting until he had a story that deserved a sequel. If only the people behind Cars had followed that philosophy, but
You get a sequel, and you get a sequel?
Yeah, there have been 3 Cars movies while we've been waiting for this one sequel. Go figure. But at any rate, so that was the big viewing. But I've had a couple others. Yesterday I had a couple of notable ones. I got to see Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, which is the recent animated feature from Warner Brothers, DC Warner. And it's the first animated Suicide Squad movie where they are the headliners. Assault on Arkham was treated as a Batman movie, even though really it was a Suicide Squad movie. Batman doesn't even make an appearance in this one, although he's mentioned. And one of the cameos, there's a couple of cameos, and one of them is one of the famed Bat villains. Two-Face does make an appearance.
Jared Leto Joker?
No Jared Leto Joker, fortunately. And the Joker is mentioned, but not shown. However, one Bat villain does take a prominent role in the film. To my surprise, Professor Pig is actually a pretty big character. And he's played by James Urbaniak, the guy that played Rusty Venture in the Venture Brothers. And he does a great job. And
probably due to Gotham.
Yeah, well, Pig was great in Gotham. Pig was always a character that was like, what the hell is with that character? But between Gotham and Hell to Pay, I'm starting to like the character a little bit. But so many people, there's 2 iterations of the Squad in the movie. The first one is Black Manta, Deadshot, Count Vertigo, Punch and Julie. And the second one is Deadshot, Boomerang, Harley Quinn, Copperhead, Bronze Tiger, and Killer Frost. Of course, you have Amanda Waller. You have an iteration of Dr. Fate, Dr. Fate. And you have Vandal Savage, his daughter Scandal, and Knockout, along with Blockbuster Zoom and Silver Banshee. That's a lot of characters to pack into a 90-minute movie. But they did it well. I will say this, though. Very high body count. If this film is supposed to fit into any sort of continuity, they ended the continuity for a lot of characters. But it's an interesting movie. It's worth a look. And then last night, speaking of ending the continuity, I saw the movie that famously was recast when Kevin Spacey became no more in the movie industry. I did see All the Money in the World. And yes, Christopher Plummer did a great job. And they did a great job putting that together in the, 2-3 weeks they had to film those scenes. He's in a lot of scenes.
I'm sure Kevin Spacey did a good job.
I'm sure he did. Spacey is a brilliant actor. I will give him that. But we've come to find out he's apparently also a colossal douchebag. So, yeah. Unfortunately and fortunately, unfortunately for him, fortunately for guys that don't like being hit on by, what am I trying to say? Untoward advances. Also, supposedly, just made things difficult even if he wasn't hitting on you. And don't do that. When you're an act, don't act like you're all that. When even if you are, be humble, be good to other people. Anyway, that's enough preachifying there. And then I did want to talk a little bit. That was basically my viewing for the week. There may have been some more, but I don't recall offhand. But I did want to talk about my reading, because it's been a big reading week. A big one. I finished Stephen King's The Outsider. It's a really good book, but it's dark. Some of the stuff that happens, there are scenes that making me squeamish is putting it lightly. Some of the stuff that they did, I sometimes wonder about Mr. King. But it's really interesting. It's a doppelganger story, but it's a doppelganger story based on a legend I'd never heard of that was very interesting and very well incorporated into the story. And the way they did it, it's worth a look. It's a good book. And I was going to make it be the next Stephen King book I read, but I got The Outsider through the library because I was waiting in line. And it is the next one. But it's coming up shortly. I finished The Outsider by my first official new edition since the Great American Read List came out. I had already started Ready Player One, so I'm not going to count that. The first new book for me, based on the Great American Read List, I did read Charlotte's Web by E.B. White.
That's not new.
It's, well, for me. I grew up on that animated movie. Don't get me wrong. I love that. When I was a kid, I loved that movie. But I never read the book. And now I have. It took me about 3 hours. It's a good book, a quick book. And today I started the next one on the list for me. George Orwell's 1984. So, something slightly different.
A reflection of our times.
And then the last one is actually two. And I hate to say it, but I have trouble remembering the title of the second one because our library has two omnibus manga volumes by the same mangaka. Her name is Ichigo something or other. I can't remember her name offhand. But the main one I was reading, the main thrust of these is Orange, which we covered the anime a few months back when it got a release. Orange is a really good manga. It's real short. I think it was like 5 tankobon volumes, which easily fit into 2 omnibus. And the basic gist of it is you have a high school girl named Naho who, on the day of her sophomore entrance ceremony, she gets a letter addressed to her from the future. And the letter claims to be her 10 years from now, telling her about this guy she's about to meet, Kakeru, and admonishing her to do everything she can, everything in her power, to basically he will not make it 10 years. And so it just goes from there. And it had a lot of an Anohana feel to me. But it's just really good. And it's ended with there's a very short manga, a one-shot by the same author. Something Astronaut. I can't remember the name. Something Astronaut. That is a bonus feature in this omnibus. And I went ahead and read that. It's a cute little story. It's a lot of fun. So I actually got some good manga stuck in there. And I guess we are back and ready to do the rest of the vids, unless you want to throw in anything here.
Nah, that's all right. You can just hit the stop on that.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
I hope you enjoyed that particular thing, and we're going to get into the pickups this time.
All right.
So what I've got here is something fairly old. I got it on a sale, I believe, Funimation sale. Well, I mean, it's an old purchase. And this is the Danganronpa 3 series. There are 2 versions, the Future arc and the Despair arc. And they finally got them down to a decent price, so I finally was able to get them. I actually really liked the original series, and I've heard the games are even better, so I just don't have time. Time is always an issue. It's fun. I'm
curious with this.
Demented.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a series. The original was like where they go to this special school, which is a school of specialist type kids, and like it's the greatest liar or the greatest basketball player or whatever. It's on there.
Cool.
They want to find out that they're actually being held captive in the school by this creepy bear thing. Which they actually don't have the picture of him, but he is a creepy little bear thing, like a black and white teddy bear. I'll try and put a picture up here, and Monokuma is the name, and he basically tells them this: it's like, all right, so you're stuck here for the rest of your lives. The school has some good facilities. We'll take good care of you, but if you can kill one of your fellow students and get away with it, I'll let you out.
So it's like Kill Dr. Lucky.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, but there's a stipulation. The students get to then try and solve the murder. If they get it right, the murderer gets executed. If they get it wrong, the murderer goes free, and all the rest of the students are executed.
So it's Kill Dr. Lucky and Clue. Nice.
So, and this sort of takes place in the future of that. I'm not going to spoil the ending. The actual plot basis is pretty well known, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Now, I will say, though, if I'm not mistaken, these two series, from what I understand, have to be watched simultaneously.
Well,
which,
like put one on one TV?
No, like one episode, then another,
consecutively.
Yeah, well, you've got to be watching both concurrently. Concurrently, that's a better word for it. So you watch episode of one, then episode of the other. At least I've been told that's the way you have to do it, the way it's set up. But they're separate sets, so it's like,
I think that it was really a pain in the butt. And,
yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I am curious about that series, though. Anyway, my first one is in honor of this week's major wide release. I finally got a hold of Jurassic World.
Woo.
Found it for $8, and that was the price I would happily pay.
It was a fun film.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I did see this in theaters, and I did enjoy it. The whole franchise has always been a favorite of mine. I loved it when I was a kid. Jurassic Park, I saw it twice in theaters. I love the book, and it's a great book, and I'm still waiting for them to make a movie based on the book. Or a series. I still think it'd be awesome to get, like, the company behind When They Cry or something like that to do an anime based on the book.
I swear they
That'd
did
be
an animated
sweet
series or something.
Yeah, but anyway, this is still a really fun movie. I'm looking forward to Fallen Kingdom, but it's not my top movie of the summer. But
it's one of the only ones that's coming out this week.
Don't go into this expecting high art. But if you're looking for a good, entertaining film, it's a good choice.
I liked it better than the other sequels.
Oh,
not the original movie, but I liked it better than the sequels. Too.
The Lost World was based on the book, which there is a book, The Lost World.
Loosely based.
Very loosely based. Very, very loosely. Like, as in the title is the same. It's almost as close as the movie adaptation of Ian Fleming's The Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Even the jokes.
Yes.
So this is one that had come out in the multi-part and then came out as a full part, but they way overpriced it.
I have the multi-part, and I really want to watch this.
I was curious about it. It was this one, and there was another one, Combustion. Gosh, I can't think of it right now. Marduk Scramble. And Combustion's one of the parts.
Yeah.
That one and this one came out around the same time, or that's how I looked at it, and I wanted them both. But this one was like $50 originally.
Well, they were first Combustion, second Combustion, third.
Yeah.
But this is actual series.
So this is a Book of Bantora.
Book of Bantora.
So this one is the full series, which is nice. Nice 27 episodes, and they finally got the thing right to where it was, it was cheap enough for me to buy it.
Do you get a dub?
That's a good question. Usually they don't. Actually, yes, they do for this
one. No,
one.
Sentai has a good track record. When they do the multi-part, they usually dub the collection.
Well, this one is dubbed, so it's gonna be fun to watch.
So you probably have a track I don't, because I have the original release, and
I have to check on the door, so I will let you go next.
Okay, and my next one is one that he has presented, I believe, on this channel. It is an excellent film that Best Buy put forward for $13 and $12. And I was more than happy to pay $12 for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I love this movie. I really did. I'm becoming a big fan of Martin McDonagh. I loved Seven Psychopaths. This one is this is a better film. Psychopaths was a little more fun. And the special feature, I think we talked about this before, it has an early McDonagh film, an Oscar-winning McDonagh film called Six Shooter. That's really fun.
Fun film.
Oh, sheep. I love this. And the movie, of course, won Oscars for Frances McDormand for Best Actress, her second win. And the long overdue for an Oscar, Sam Rockwell, got a pretty decent win for Supporting Actor. Woody Harrelson is awesome and got another nod for Supporting Actor. Really good, solid film. My third favorite of the year. Marginally better than the film that beat it, Shape of Water. But maybe when I get to rewatch all these films, I'll have a different ranking. I was thinking about that today. Like, we watch so many movies, we can definitely give an idea of these are the best films of the year because we've seen so many.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually ranking them, I think the people who only watch 5 movies a year and watch them again and again and again can give a better ranking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So most of these films I've seen once. So I'll hopefully see this again soon.
It was worth a watch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Just be aware, Martin McDonagh likes him some rough language, and he does not shy away from violence.
It's a slightly dark movie.
Slightly dark.
So, I went to Best Buy. That was my mistake. And I went ahead and I picked up some Best Buy stuff that was on sale. And I said, oh, look, Batman Blu-ray.
I wanted this one.
And I've been wanting to get this for a while. It was $10. Had to get a hold of it. And that was Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which is a steampunk Batman. I've heard from several people who have watched this that this was a fun movie. I got a nice slipcover for you slipcover fans. And, it looks the same as the internal, but still.
Slipcover.
It is a slipcover. And I don't know a lot about it other than it's a steampunk Batman and that it has been very good, so I do look forward to seeing this. I want to get Batman Ninja, but I didn't want to pay $14.
Yeah.
I know I'm a cheapskate, but I gotta be.
Yeah. And again, I think I mentioned last week that one and Hell to Pay were both ones I was sorely tempted. $10 was a good price.
Yeah.
But Black Friday, they'll probably be as cheap. So whatever. Now, speaking of slipcover movies, and speaking of the Best Picture winner of the year, I also picked up for $12 The Shape of Water. This is a really good movie. We've talked about it before on this channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it now. Yeah. But like I said, to me, these two were very close, and they're so different. It's hard to say which one's better and how. They're so different. This was a very peculiar movie to take Best Picture. But it's a gorgeous film. It's very well done. Sally Hawkins does a phenomenal job. Richard Jenkins does a phenomenal job. I mean, really, the acting was solid across the board. Yeah. And Guillermo del Toro is just a brilliant director who occasionally steps off.
Actually. He's been due.
And that's one of the reasons the film did what it did. Because there was still that very vocal crowd, I was one of them, that he got reamed for Pan's Labyrinth. And he's been kind of gypped on a few other movies, so the man finally got his due, and maybe one day Sally Hawkins will get her due, but she was up against Frances McDormand.
That was a tough beat.
Okay.
Alright, so if you watch our other video, which I cannot tell you which one will come out first, this one will be the heck of a lot easier to edit video. Mainly because we got a lot of video of our out and about at 2nd and Charles, and that has music in the background, so I have to edit my own music over it. But we did a Movies Galore run on a movie called Beyond the Mat, which Kotobuki Jake talked about watching in his little short part on this. So, Beyond the Mat is a wrestling documentary, and it's not one like you would think. It's not one that tells you the history of or anything like that. It gives you a brief rundown, but it's more of an inside, or really Beyond the Mat, essentially. It's just seeing these wrestlers in their real lives, how they're dealing with it. Some of them really love what's going on. Some of them have been gypped by it, destroyed by it. It's really interesting, and the special features on this are also quite fun. If you haven't gotten a chance, check out Movies Galore's take on this. It is a fun conversation. And by the way, because we'll probably not, it'll probably have not aired by this point, or maybe it will have. We're going to be doing the movie Frogs as this upcoming Tuesday, and so check it out. I think it's going to be well worth your watch.
That is the plan. He said that he may or may not be doing the video, right?
Oh, you mean he might? Yeah, he might change it up.
Yeah. Basically, our host for that said that it's a busy day tomorrow, but he intends to do a video. And frogs is fun.
Yes.
Bad, but fun. So, next up, as we have said before, Sentai recently did everything they could to make us bankrupt with a very, 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 very impressive Memorial Day sale. And I'm actually very envious of the next item he's going to present. And as I was last week when he presented his Food Wars sets. And there were a couple of premium sets I didn't order that I really wanted to. Flip Flappers, Amagi Brilliant Park, Food Wars. Haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto? If I get another shot at any of those for the prices they were offering, I may have to jump on them. But I did jump on 2 of them, which I think brings my total up to 9 different series that I have premium.
Wow, that's
which is
impressive.
Nice. And we, what's really fun is that Squid Girl's the only one we share, so it's like I got a few of the, although you've got a few of them on standard. But
oh yeah.
Do you have either of these on standard?
None of them.
Okay.
I do envy. I do envy you all of those.
Okay. Now these 2, the first 2, I really, really wanted, and I'm slightly disappointed at the product, but we'll get to it in a minute. But one of the more highly acclaimed series of the past several years is a show, a 50-episode series about a card game that involves the recitation of ancient Japanese poetry. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? But it's a highly acclaimed series called Chihaya Huru, which is about the card game Karuta, but it's also about Chihaya, who's a high school girl who starts a Karuta club at her school, basically. She and one childhood friend start the club in part so they might be able to reconnect with another childhood friend. The 3 of them had played Karuta when they were kids. The reason why I said I was a little bit disappointed is this is season 1. And look at that. That is flippin' awesome. It's a matte cover. It's a really nice looking box. You got your, when you open it up, you've got your DVD and Blu-ray cases, of course. And then you got, your little obligatory goodies, which there are some goodies. There's a nice little booklet that is all about the events. There's actually a Karuta glossary, so noobs like me can know a little bit about what's going on. There's some really nice art cards. And some character profile cards. And some actual Karuta cards that, a couple of high-profile ones. I'm not sure if this is exactly what they would normally look like, but that's kind of what they do in this. And then you got this little thing, which is simply a space filler, because they intend season 2 to fit right in.
Not that simple.
And the I'll get to it in just a minute. So you see, you've got the season 2 comes like this. They slips right out, those slip right in, and you, I suppose, are supposed to remove this stuff and put it into that box I just opened. And all that you have here is a booklet and this little weird little keychain. And that's really it. The reason why I'm disappointed is I feel like season 2 had the same sticker price that season 1 did, or it wasn't much cheaper. But really, this is an incomplete set. If you're looking at like a premium edition set, this is like Aniplex level. you know. It's still really well done and well made, and to be honest, I'm kind of glad that I can combine them into one. It takes up less shelf space, but I'm very disappointed that Sentai would charge that much and give you something that's supposed to just slip into the other one, you know? I thought they would do better. But regardless, I am very thrilled because of that, if nothing else, that I got them both at the same time. But I am thrilled to have this series, even though it sounds like a series about a Karuta has got to be the most boring thing on earth, unless you're talking about a 4-hour foreign language film about cricket. But I tell you what, Lagan was a wonderful movie. So if a movie that's 4 hours long that's about cricket can be good, then I have hope for this.
Well, I mean, one of the more popular series is Hikaru no Go.
Yeah.
Which is just like an entire series about what Americans know of as Othello.
And supposedly this is one of the reasons for the popularity is that supposedly this almost perfectly balances the very difficult act of being a sports anime and a high school romance, which is a very difficult act. So I'm very curious about this one. So yeah.
Mine, I was looking because it has another one of those boxes too, but it's not for filler for the second season because there is no second season. Thank goodness. I hate when I have that. That's one of the reasons why Food Wars worries me, because I don't want to be on the hook for doing these for 5-6 seasons, which is probably the case, unfortunately. I have been watching it though. I am on season 2 actually right now.
Good times.
So this is Tanaka-kun is always restless. I mean, listless. Yeah, it'd be different if he was restless.
Yes, it'd be the sequel.
Basically, he's a guy who seems to have narcolepsy because he's falling asleep all the time. So his friend, also pictured on the cover, is carrying him around. And then one of the girls on the back is also interested in him because she feels that he's much deeper than he really is because he's just sleeping through everything. So this includes your series, your soundtrack, art book, and some goodies in here, which include an eye mask, so you can sleep too, a door hanger, do not disturb, a poster, and some art cards. Now, I've seen some of the art cards that have come with Food Wars, and those are really nice embossed cards. I mean, those really are good.
Sentai does a good job with their stuff. The problem that I'm facing is, as a collector, you want to keep the sets in a good tip-top shape together. And if I take any of the bonus stuff out, I use it very carefully and put it back. I don't want to take it out and leave it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's very annoying. Like when I wore those Squid Girl buttons, I made sure to keep them in excellent shape. But I was happy to... Huh?
As a collector, it is your imperative.
Yes, exactly. That's like the freaking Lucky Star sets that come with T-shirts in every volume. It's like you can't even take them out and,
Can't wear them.
But anyway, so my last one, speaking of, you know what, if Tanaka-kun doesn't seem to have any trouble sleeping, but if any of his friends did, apparently this one will work. I have not realized this until today, but apparently there's a whole genre of anime and manga that are, I don't remember the official word for it, but they're healing anime is what they call it. They're supposed to be relaxing. They're supposed to be restful.
Indeed.
And this apparently falls into that genre. And this is one that we covered recently on this channel. And I am very happy to finally have it. This is Flying Witch. Once again, very nice box. I unfortunately just dropped it on the floor, but it's in good shape.
It'll survive those drops on the floor. Test it out at home.
Yeah, sure. And again, you got your DVD and Blu-ray cases. Soundtrack. This one does come with the soundtrack, which is very cool. I wish they would do the soundtrack.
Very similar to the one I have here.
Yep. You got a little floppy book, but a nice little book. It's got lots of nice art and other such stuff in it. And then you open this one up, and you got goodies.
You've got dogs.
Okay, you got a microfiber cloth, some stickers. So that's another thing. You can't really use the stickers, unfortunately. Really nice art cards. I think that's actually it for
I wonder if anybody actually takes those out and just uses them. That's a good idea for a comment. If you get one of these specialty sets and you use up all the stuff on it, let me know. I am curious. I'd like to meet some people who actually do that. I've never... I have that thing, it's like, it's going to lose value.
But I will say this, like, I looked at... I was reading the review today, the Shelf Life review on Anime News Network, and the guy, again, this is supposed to be a relaxing series. I didn't realize this when we first were looking at it. And the guy was like, you know, at one point, I think I fell asleep. And it may be the only time in a review that I mean that as a compliment. So I'm curious to see if it really is a cure for insomnia. But at the very least, it's supposed to be a pleasant and enjoyable one. Yeah. So
see, the difference is there's a fine line between relaxing and boring.
Yes. But, and I will admit, last night when I was watching All the Money in the World, I did nod off a couple times. But mostly, I know. Mostly it's because I'm tired. But anyway, there we go.
In any case, I hope you like this video. Of course, visit one of our friend channels, the Rebel Gaming Club. Next week, we are trying, one of the reasons why we're so hurried today, is we are working towards trying to build a video to go with the wonderful theme song they recorded for us. And we're going to be trying to do a special episode next week. There's not going to be a separate pickup and news episode this time. It's going to be a combined big old episode tributary to the Rebel Gaming Club.
A tribute? Oh.
Well, whatever it is. A tribute to them. We're going to do it the right way, and we're going to check it out. So if you haven't checked them out yet, check them out. They're awesome. All right. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep.